Good evening, everybody. We will get started in about 2 minutes. I'm still admitting some folks in. We'll give just a couple minutes to get those last minute families in. All right, good evening, everybody. The meeting tonight is going to be recorded, and it is also going to be live on YouTube as well. I would like to introduce Dr. Amanda Brown. She is going to be speaking with us tonight on our kindergarten information meeting.
So much, Ms. Kara. I appreciate it. Hello to all of you families who are joining us tonight for our kindergarten enrollment meeting at Research Triangle Charter Academy. I am Dr. Amanda C. Brown, and I am helping out at Research for the time being. Your illustrious principal, Melanie Williams, just got to Research from Preeminent Charter Academy, which is our sister school in Raleigh. And I am visiting by way of Wake Forest Charter Academy. And so we're all connected. We're all here in the family. And so I'll be filling in tonight just to help out, answer some questions, any questions that you may have about Research Triangle Charter Academy or National Heritage Academies as a whole. And so in the event you have questions, please feel free to, Kara, do you want them to type them in the chat box? Some songs so you can use them, type them right there in that chat box. Or you can unmute. I won't feel interrupted, I promise. And so if you have questions and you're like, hey lady, unmute, got a question, it won't bother me at all. And so we'll go ahead and get started because we definitely don't want to keep you long. And so of course, our parent company is National Heritage Academy. They build kindergarten through 8th grade schools in about 9 states. And so we're in North Carolina, we're in Louisiana, we're in Michigan, and a whole bunch of other states. I won't name them all for you. We have about 90 schools, and we're actually opening up additional schools in the coming years, and we serve over 60,000 students. And so that's just some background information about our parent organization. And so we are a charter school, and so we're open to all. It's public, it's free of cost. We're highly accountable. Not only are we accountable to our state, we're also accountable to our very own board of directors. And so Research Triangle Charter Academy has their very own board of directors who meet regularly, monthly, to make decisions regarding the school's finances. Of course, most recently with COVID, they meet to make decisions surrounding COVID. And so high accountability from several different measures. And so we also have special education. So any of those services that you would receive at a normal, traditional public school setting, your local public school settings, we also offer at Research Triangle Charter Academy. So special education services, we got you covered. 504s, we got you covered. English language learners, we have you covered. And then we follow all federal, state, and local guidelines. And so if you're wondering, oh, you're a charter school, do you guys still have to do testing? Yeah, we do. We do our testing. And so if you have any questions about testing this evening, I can definitely help you out. These are our pillars for National Heritage Academies, and again, for Research Triangle Charter Academy: academic excellence, moral focus, student responsibility, and parent partnership. And so we're going to jump into all of those tonight. The first one is academic excellence. And so we have a personal responsibility to focus on your child's unique abilities. And so we make sure that all of our teachers are well trained. They know where your children are. They're able to assess daily, formally and informally, and in order to have good morning. Thank you for joining us. I just saw your camera pop on, so I just got happy I saw another face. So individual learning plans, we can make those in order to track our students' progress. And so we may have a group of students and they're all, good morning, all teachers on here. Hey, Miss Millie. I'll let her introduce herself in a little bit. And so we have students who may ability group, right? And so they all may be learning letters, or then maybe they're all reading, or maybe they're all learning numbers. And so those assessments and individual learning plans really help our teachers focus on creating those small groups for instruction. And so, of course, our teachers are always assessing, again, both formally and informally. And so we can adjust the instruction as we see fit. And so if we get into a group and we're going, and the kids are stuck, we're like, oh no, back up, let's do some more learning. And so we work with our teachers to be able to know when to adjust that instruction. As far as enrichment classes, some people call them electives or specials. They might have different names depending on the school that you attend. We call them specials. In our K-5, we call them specials. Specifically in kindergarten, we call them specials. And so we offer art, music, physical education, and technology. And so those are the ones that will be offered for your kinder babies. Of course, along with academic excellence, we also want to make sure that our students are prepared for advanced high school college courses. And so what that means is we start the college talk early. And yes, that means in kindergarten. So it may start off very fundamental. What college do you want to go to? An introduction to different colleges, but also in the data tracking process, we make sure that our scholars are making this steady trend of progress to make sure that they're going to hit all of those benchmarks along the way. And of course, that starts in kindergarten and goes forth to first grade, second grade, all the way up, so that we can make sure that our scholars are on that college readiness path when they leave us in 8th grade. Of course, on here, we have great teachers, and we definitely have great teachers at Research Triangle Charter Academy. And so we believe that learning begins by building relationships. And so even during COVID and virtual learning, we believe in getting to know our scholars and making sure our scholars know us. Building those conversations and relationships with parents is very, very important to us. And so we want to make sure that we understand you, we understand your scholar, and we understand your needs as a family. And so please always feel free to reach out to us. We have a front office, they answer calls. Our principal is always available to answer any calls and to answer any questions. And so as our teachers. One thing I love about our teachers is that we offer certified and highly qualified, intense competency interview process. And so our teachers are interviewed at our national level. And so when they go on, it's called NHAcareers.com, in case we have any teachers out in the audience today. So you can always visit NHAcareers.com. Just care if you want to pop that in that chat box in case we have any teachers who are looking for a job. We're looking for you. So come on over and join us at Research Triangle Charter Academy. But what happens is our national office calls and they screen all of our teachers before they're even sent to us. And so that means that we kind of weed out all of the crazies, right? Because we have some crazies. So we want to make sure that those people don't get in front of our scholars. And so once they get to us, they've been pre-screened, they know all of their information, and we can begin really digging deep into pedagogy and making sure they understand content before they're in front of our scholars. We offer intense professional development opportunities And it comes from getting all the schools together. Of course, now not really, but maybe on a Zoom call or a Google Meet. We also have wing meetings and what we call O3s. O3s are one-on-one meetings with the dean, and I'm going to talk about the dean in just a little bit. Maybe right now. Here we go. So our deans are called assistant principals, and so they're the same. We use that term interchangeably. The difference is in a traditional public school, your assistant principals may focus on behavior. They may focus on transportation. They may focus on some activities that are not necessarily instructional related. And so in this setting, in our setting, our deans are really there for the teachers. And so those one-on-one meetings, we have 4 kindergarten classes. And so each of those kindergarten teachers get a one-on-one meeting with their dean each week. The dean does observations, and so they are the most connected to what's going on in the classroom. And so they will always be our parents' first line of defense. In the event you have a question or you have a concern after you've spoken with the teacher, we definitely suggest you reach out to those deans and share your concerns with them, because they are there to get to know your scholar. And so this makes for a very smaller learning community because we have a dean over K2, a dean over 3-5, and a dean over 6-8. And so typically you would have a principal and then an assistant principal. And in this case, you have a principal and then 3 assistant principals supporting all of those scholar needs. Our moral focus program is our virtue program. And so virtues are an essential part of what we teach. We teach them daily. We have a moral focus curriculum. And it starts in August and it takes us all the way to June. And so we start off with wisdom. Of course, in kindergarten, we're talking about making wise choices. So I always have my kinders put a W on their head. And when they made a wise choice, they put their little antlers up. I don't know why I haven't had coffee this evening. So you guys just bear with me here. So they put the antlers up and they talk about making wise choices. So even if we see scholars walking through the hallway, and most of the time they'll see their dean or their principal and they'll throw their W's up because they're making wise choices. So that's always an awesome thing to see. And of course, as we move on, we also talk about respect, perseverance, integrity, and a lot more. But it's a part of our everyday school day. We do have a dedicated time slot in our school day for moral focus. We also have moral focus assemblies, and our teachers interweave moral focus in all of the lessons that they teach. And it's how we correct behavior and have those difficult conversations with kiddos and parents sometimes. We also believe in student responsibility. And so again, those wise choices, we have a positive behavior management system. And so what that means is we focus on telling kids what the expectation is, right? So these are your expectations, and then supporting those expectations through a process of what we call CHAMPS. And so it's how we set up all of our behavior throughout the building. CHAMPS, C stands for the conversation level. So how should I be speaking at this time? H, what do I do if I need help? What activity? The A is what activity we're working on. The M is what does movement look like now in the classroom? Is it free movement? Can I get up? Can I go get a pencil? Can I sharpen my pencil? Do I need to sit down? And the P, how do I let my teacher know that I am actively participating? And so we give students strategies such as slant, sit it up straight, movement breaks, because sometimes we know definitely our kiddos get a little jittery, right? Especially in kinder, and they need to take breaks. And so we make sure that they have those opportunities, because our point is we want our scholars to be set up for success from the beginning. And so that helps us help them. Parental partnerships are also really important to us. We want you to feel connected to what's going on in the school. You are always welcome. So pre-COVID, we would love to have parent volunteers in our classrooms, always making copies. They're always stapling and maybe dropping off coffee or donuts or whatever. If you want to come pick up work and take it home and do it for the teacher and then bring it back, drop it back off. But definitely, we want you to feel like your teachers are available to you. And so we definitely support quick turnarounds for communication as far as emails and phone calls, because we want your scholar to succeed. And a part of that is you having this constant connection with your scholar's teacher. Our visitor management system, I always like to growl when I talk about it because it's called Raptor. And so our Raptor process is a very cool system. And so pre-COVID, when you would come into the school to volunteer, you would bring your ID and it would scan your ID, it'd do a quick background check. And then if you weren't cleared to come in the building, all sorts of things start flying off on people's computers saying, hey, we have someone in the building that's not supposed to be there. But that happens every single time we have a visitor in the building. And so we want all of the exterior doors are locked at all times. You have to get buzzed in the building, and then buzzed in the front office. And so there are a lot of layers of protection at our school to make sure that our scholars and our staff remain safe. We are committed to hard work. We always say that we don't want our students to be good students when they leave us. We want them to be good citizens when they leave us. And so that's why we have a dual approach of academics and moral focus, and they come together to make just really good humans, is what I like to call them in K2, just really good people. And so a part of that is teaching scholars how to take personal responsibilities for their actions and personal responsibility for the consequences that come along with those actions. And so that's our ask of parents to join us in creating great humans. Good students become great people. And so that's why we focus on making sure that our scholars are great people, and they learn compassion, and they learn how to encourage others and things of that nature. And so across all settings, at home and at school, because we believe that leads to success. So I want to jump a little bit into the kindergarten curriculum. So we do offer reading, writing, language, which is really comprised of listening and communication, math, science, social studies, and then again, your student will receive art, music, PE, technology, social and moral focus skills. And so as you know, with COVID, social skills, social and emotional skills are so important. So we want to make sure that our scholars have tools to really express themselves correctly and advocate for themselves and advocate for others. We want to make sure that they have those proper tools, even in kindergarten. It's always so cute when a kindergarten, we call it tattling, but really it's advocating, right? I'm advocating for my friend. She broke her pencil and she needs help. And so I always tell parents, be very leery about saying, stop tattling, because what's happening is at that early stage, they're learning how to take up for someone else. And so that's a really, really cool thing to see. And we want to be able to nurture that. So skills like that are things that we want to make sure our scholars have. So in this PowerPoint, I know it's very wordy, but I just wanted to make sure that you have a good idea of all of the things that we focus in on in kindergarten. So recognize and write all of the letters in the alphabet in upper and lowercase forms. So I know a lot of, at the beginning of kindergarten, kids know their they tend to know their upper alphabet faster than they do their lower ones. And so we want to make sure that they know both of them and know how to write both of them correctly at the right time. So write his or her first and last name, learn sounds corresponding to vowels and consonants, use initial consonant sound patterns to read, for examples, and fan, making sure that they can sound out words correctly. Identify several sight words, including names of colors, recognize and use rhyming words. And so if you're in the car, I know my kids used to like to play I Spy, and I was so tired of that game. I was like, no more I Spy. I don't want to spy anything else. And so a good game to play in the car is just a rhyming game. What rhymes with cat? Or give me some words that rhyme with pat. What about dog? What about fox? And so they can come up with all of those words and let you know. Retell a story, including details. And so even as you're reading with your kids at night, have them kind of recall that story to you and tell you what happened. See if they can sequence some events. If this happened before or after, what do you think is going to happen next? So all of those skills we go over in kindergarten. And again, sequencing, putting things in order. As far as math, we want our scholars to be able to do sort and classify objects using one or more attributes. So color, shape, size, things of that nature. Recognize and write numbers to 30. Count orally by 1s, 5s, and 10s. Name the ordinal numbers 1st through 10th. And so making sure our students understand that with sequencing and reading, we can kind of connect that. This is what happened 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Add and subtract using manipulatives. It can be Cheerios, it can be candy, it can be base 10 blocks, teddy bears, anything of that nature. Understand spatial relationships, so top, bottom, near, far, left, right, all of those. Compare quantities by estimating, weighing, and measuring. Use graphs to gather information. Recognize patterns and shapes. Tell time to the nearest hour. Count coins and recite the days of the week and the months of the year. So this sounds like a lot. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you have kinders who can probably do some of the things on this list. So please don't go out this summer and try to teach them all that. That's our job when they get to kinder. But definitely if you want to have a head start, these are those skills that we'll work on all throughout kindergarten. As far as listening and communication, so we're teaching your scholars how to listen attentively, raise their hand or wait to speak, act on instruction, and repeat spoken directions. And so in a lot of our kindergarten classes, you'll hear a lot of call and response. So it'll say the days of the week, and then they repeat the days of the week, or listen to your teacher. There's a lot of hand motions, a lot of whole brain teaching, because what you want to do is make sure that students understand. So sorry, y'all, my kids are in the background about to get in trouble. They're going to write some sentences. Engage in question and answer dialogue with classmates and teachers, and then work on, as a team, on projects and problem solving. And so that's a really big skill. And I'll fix that graphic. It's a really big skill in kindergarten, is to making sure not only do they understand what's going on, but can they solve a problem on their own? And that's both in math and ELA, as well as a couple of other disciplines. The fine motor skills we want to make sure our kinders have: independently tying their shoes, pencil and crayon control. And so a lot of times in the kindergarten assessments, you'll probably see your teacher kind of looking at how your student grips their pencil. And so we'll probably take some notes on that. Cutting with scissors independently on designated lines. Independently opening glue sticks, condiment packets. And so we do have a lot of kinders at the beginning of the year, can you open my milk? Can you open my ketchup? Completely fine. But towards the end of kindergarten, we do want to make sure that they're a little independent with those skills. Independent bathroom routines. Unbuttoning, buttoning clothes, zippers, washing hands. That's why a lot of times in kindergarten, we don't recommend students wear a belt with their uniform, because we just want them to make it to the bathroom, right? So we don't want any extra steps for those babies. Just make it to the bathroom is our goal. So we do want to let you know that this is where kids can succeed at Research Triangle Charter Academy. And so we'll be so happy to have you join us. I'm going to let Kara tell you how you can apply. And how you can enroll at Research Triangle Charter Academy. And then I'm definitely here for any questions that you may have.
Yes, if you guys haven't enrolled already, if I put my email address in the chat box, I would be more than happy to send you an electronic copy to fill out. And our open enrollment ends February 26th at 5 p.m. Any applications we get after that point will just go to our waiting list from our lottery. Did anybody have any questions for Dr. Brown? Feel free to unmute.
Hi, I do have a question. I have two children that already attend there. Will people who already have children that already attend there, will their children be grandfathered in, or do they have to go through the lottery?
They will technically have to go through the lottery, but they will have sibling preference.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You should be good to go. You can also double check with our registrar, Ms. Tabron, to make sure your kiddos have been linked in the household. That way they do have that preference.
Oh, okay. No, I did not do that. So I would just email her or call her?
I'll put her email in the chat box. Just send her an email and ask to make sure that your kiddos are all linked in the same household.
Okay,
and
thank you.
You're welcome. The date of the lottery is March 10th at 4 p.m.
We also have a kindergarten teacher on here, Miss Willie. Miss Willie is also our team lead for kindergarten at Research Triangle Charter Academy. And so if you have questions For either one of us, either one of us can answer those questions at this time, but you have the master kindergarten teacher online right now. So I would definitely take advantage of any questions that you may have.
Hi, I'm sorry. I hate for you guys to have to repeat something. I was going through this little backwoods and my volume went out. How did you guys say we can get applications for registration?
You can send me an email and I'll help you fill one out electronically.
Okay, and your email is on here?
It's in the chat box, but I also sent everybody an email probably at like 4:30 today with the link. I don't know if you received my email, but if you did, you could just reply back.
Oh, okay. I think because I only got a text with this link for the Zoom, but I'll double check.
You can respond back to the text. I'll get that as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So typically after our lottery, you have a month or 4 to 5 weeks to accept your spot or accept your seat. And then if you do not accept your seat, we will move on to the next person in line. After the date of the lottery, the very next day, our registrar, Ms. Tabron, will send out notification letters to our families to let them know if they've been accepted or waitlisted. But we do tell families, don't get upset if you're put on the waiting list. We tend to go through. The school hours, it varies. So I think it's K4, correct me if I'm wrong, Billy. K4 is 8 o'clock to 3, and then 5th through 8th grade goes to 3:15. 3:30, I'm sorry, 3:30.
They start minutes later, so they start at 8 and they go until 3:30 for 5th through 8th. And K through 4 is 8 to 3.
Hi, I have another question. So, God forbid, but it is possible. Come August, if the kindergartners do have to start virtually, are they expected to be online from 8 to 2?
No, ma'am. We don't know what next year is going to hold for us. We're all kind of we're planning for everything. So we have plan A through C again, all ready to go. Especially with what we've done so far this year. There is a certain schedule they follow, but it's just a few live sessions that they have to attend, and then they'll have their independent work that they'll have to do in between their live sessions.
I can speak a little bit on the prior to our school transitioning from hybrid to virtual, the students are not expected to stay on for the duration of the day from 8 to 3. However, they do have what we call asynchronous work. So that is work where they're not together online with the whole group, but they are supposed to be practicing independent practices at home. So we'll meet and we'll have live sessions together, and then they will do some takeaways and they'll work offline for a little bit. And they, like, for instance, I have a couple of group rotations. So this group might be on while this group is working on an activity offline, and then vice versa once they switch around. But our schedule typically has them done with the live instruction by about 12:45 each day. And that is with the rotations, and they'll have asynchronous work for the remainder of the day.
I do see a question about homemade lunches. Oh my goodness. That was probably one of my children's biggest transitions going to kindergarten, because mommy and grandma always made them like nice warm lunches, and I'm like, yeah, buddy, not anymore. So yes, we do have a school lunch program that is on campus. If you choose to send in lunch with your student, it does need to be a lunch that they can eat independently and that does not need to be warmed up. And so if they want to bring a sandwich and some chips and an apple, anything that they can eat independently and doesn't require a microwave device or anything that they have to plug up or anything, then you can absolutely send lunch for your kid, or you can purchase our lunch through a program that we have called Preferred Meals. And so you'll definitely receive more information about that program come closer to after the lottery.
Class ratio, that's going to vary depending on the grade level. So for kindergarten, we have 25 kiddos in a classroom. First through fifth grade, we have up to 28. And for middle school, it can range depending on what the class is. So 26 to 27 in a class for middle school.
So I do see a question about virtual in person. Unless the governor says that we have to have a virtual school for next year, we are planning to open in-person instruction. And so we don't have any plans for a virtual academy in the upcoming school year, 2021-2022. Great question.
Yes, we do have before and after school care offered on site. It's an outside affiliation that comes on. They're called Moving On. Going back through to make sure we haven't missed any questions. The hours for before and after school, I do believe you can drop off in the morning, I think 7:15, 7:30, and then it goes until 6 o'clock in the evening. The doors open at 7:45 and we start active for kindergartners coming in, kindergarten through fourth grade. I am unsure if snacks are provided in the after school program. I would believe so. Yes, Miss Willie said yes, they provide snacks in the after school program. We do offer a few activities after school. So there's another group that comes in that have like art or technology focused activities for the kiddos to do that it's not associated with the before and after school care program. So whereas the before and after school care program, they do homework first before they do activities. The other program, I can't remember the name of it, I apologize. The other program only does activities. Superlatives, there we go. They only do the activities for the kiddos. They do like STEP, technology, art. We also have a drum line that starts in third grade and goes to middle school, and they're really good. They're really, really good. And we have sports for our middle school kiddos, like basketball, volleyball, soccer, cross country, cheerleading. And our principal has been trying to get, I think it's called soccer shots, started for our kindergarten through second grade kiddos. Something she's working on. Today was just an informative session, just giving information about the school, what our kindergarten program focuses on. Yes, that information for the superlatives and moving on program are on our website. Uniforms are going to be different for kindergarten through second grade. They wear the lime green polos. They'll at least get one lime green polo from myself when they come in for kindergarten. If you order in the summer, they'll ship for free to the school. If you just put the school's name in the coupon code, you can pick them up during open house. It roughly takes 3 weeks or so to have the uniforms come in. They ship in on certain days, like every other week on certain days. We try to stick as close as we can, holiday schedule wise, to what Durham Public Schools has, but we do vary just a little bit on our professional development days. There is a schedule online. You can just download the PDF calendar. You can kind of get an idea of what it looks like now. But this schedule we have out includes the 5 remote days that the state made us put in. But it's a traditional school calendar. We'll go for another 4 minutes if anyone has any other questions for me or for Miss Willie or for Dr. Brown. You guys are a quiet group tonight. All right, well, I hope everybody has a good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for all the information. I think you guys answered any questions that I had. And so I'll just reach for the application and cross fingers and good luck to everybody for the lottery.
Thank you.